So essentially, whenever we start, so always one of the things I'm trying to check when I do this each time is I don't get into the habit of like, oh, we're doing this move today, and so I forget about the other bits. So always recapping, the knees always want to be pinched. I never want my knees, I never want to be sat on the guy, because anytime I sit on him, he can bump me, and he moves me really easily, so I would never want to be down on this. I never want my knees, also when I tend to do that, or anything along those lines, I tend to open these, very easy for them to push my knees, and also I will fall forward, right? So always my knees are pinched. I always go with my toes generally down. My pelvis is tilted. I want my chest, in that kind of angle. I don't want to be open so you can just push me off, right? So it's important we always check this. Basically the, pawn in front of the king, right? Every single time we're going to threaten that neck because I want these elbows. He doesn't get to just have his elbows down here, yeah? And I know that this is going to, almost every time, going to have to come up because I don't want the guy bridging and rolling me. So we go here, and we feel that this elbow is up, right? If the elbow drops before I can get here, we go to the Americana, like every single time. We're going to attack it because he either can give us his wrist or he can give us his elbow, right? So even if he defends well, he should give us the wrist, and then we get an Americana attack. And again, this idea of we end up here again, tight, right? So that is not going to change. So that's if we go this side, it's a bent arm lock. But I get this time, and he leaves it up. And there are ways in which we can get that up as well, if I want to kind of force it a little bit. So I can bring there's different things. Henry shows getting his hip out this side. Because the further out you go this way, the more the lower the hip gets, right? But I always need from the off to really be getting this hand to this side, because otherwise, if I just try and move this up, he just moves his body that way, and we're back where we started, and we're moving, which I don't really like when I'm in mount. I don't want him moving. I don't want to move it at all. So I'm here. I'm going to put my weight on, and we get to this position. And this hand, it never really needs to move off of the ground. So if I wanted to talk about the most common mistake, it's that this hand starts moving off the ground, or it starts getting like not any weight in it. This, by the way, is the same as it being off the ground. I don't care if it's touching, it has to have weight in it. So if Matt tries to move his head, the key thing is that he can't move his head. And this knee, the higher you get that knee, usually the better. It really opens his arm up. So at the moment, the choke is here. All I've got to do is put my thumb at any point, I work that thumb in, and now I can, from this point, now I can square back up, right? And finish with the choke. And it's almost all that is almost all bottom hand, and just stopping his head from moving. Yeah? And I'm doing that because the arm isn't really doing anything there. It just so happened that as we move there, he's not really moving too much, but as we move there, the arm is just stuck. I'll usually go for the choke if he's got gi on. But I can switch at any point to the arm. Yeah, so we're back here again. So every time I'm getting good at putting that weight on, making it so that he has no choice but to bring that elbow up is important. So I'm here. So there's the choke. That's the first one. So if I'm sliding my thumb in. That's all I really need. Yeah, and we've got to think all the time about, when I come back from the choke, my head will go to this side, and I want to be almost on the end of my head here. Can you bump me off there, man? Yeah, that's the kind of thing I want, right? I want to be able so that he can't move me off. So these are all things that we need to sort of think about in this. So I don't want him able to bump me. So I'm here, and one of the things, don't leave your leg right down here. Bring your head up, bring your leg up as tight as you can, so you're basing on it. Yeah, so this arm isn't moving, and I've got the choke, so the choke is here. I can choke him this way as well. If I don't want to, so if he tries to bump me. I can choke this way. So this is dealing with this idea that he can maybe bump me. But it's hard for him because I've got this foot up. Can you bump me that way? It's pretty difficult. But what I need to monitor is like, if this hand is coming up, it's usually because I'm like, I don't mind if he moves his head now. I don't care, because I'm choking him. But if I'm here, if I start letting this hand go, the other common mistake is you start to switch to the arm bar, and people do this. This hand doesn't move again. It just doesn't move. And if you feel that you can get a bit like we were doing yesterday with the Americana, if you feel that you can get your head moving through their hand, there's not enough weight in it, put your head through their hand when you're on the bottom. Just go that way and get your elbow back to the ground. Yeah? Just have a play at getting into that high position. So grab the body and just have a go at getting into it. Yeah? And also play around with like how high the elbow is. So you can put your elbow pretty low, and the guy can still usually get like under it if he takes his knee out nice and wide. Yeah? Just have a play with it.